How can healing
Healing.
our big and small traumas could transform our mindset and our life?
Yeah, so when I think about trauma before, you know, whenever I think about trauma, I always think about a very big, like, event, like, for example, being abused, being in a car accident. But then I learned that trauma could be anything actually that left a mark, significant mark on you and your nervous system and affected how you looked at things. So it could be as something as simple as going back to the example that we had a while ago, when your parents, for example, didn't, or even when not your parents, even maybe your close friends or people in your life when you were young, like maybe they didn't listen to your feelings, they didn't acknowledge your feelings. So that could already be a trauma. So it can really transform your life because, like we said a while ago, healing, no, it can really affect, like, even when you heal, you think it's just a small part in your life. When you heal that, it can really transform how you go about things, how you handle things. So, for example, when you set boundaries, when you yeah, that's one, like setting boundaries. Because I believe that whenever we like handle or like interact with anything outside, like outside us, the external world, it really ties back to our internal world. Like, for example, one, like, I always say that whenever I set a boundary with someone, like, oh, I don't want to be talked to that way. I don't want to be spoken to that way. But then, have you set that boundary with yourself already? Right? So, before it can be strong enough to be set with others, you need to set that with yourself as well. And that includes like changing the way you speak to yourself, changing the way the words that you use when you, yeah, that's one, like setting boundaries. Because I believe that whenever we like handle or like interact with anything outside, like outside us, the external world, it really ties back to our internal world. Like, for example, one, like, I always say that whenever I set a boundary with someone, like, oh, I don't want to be talked to that way. I don't want to be spoken to that way. But then, have you set that boundary with yourself already? Right? So, before it can be strong enough to be set with others, you need to set that with yourself as well. And that includes like changing the way you speak to yourself, changing the way the words that you use. And then, because sometimes if you're not able to do that, like start with yourself, it will be hard to set that boundary with someone. And that's why we waver, like whenever we already set that boundary with someone, they ignored it or they didn't respect it, then we still continue on with the relationship, and then we tend to just ignore our boundaries. So yeah, it can really be a big thing that can transform your life.
Yeah, yeah, I totally understand. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Like, as what you can see, I'm also so passionate with healing because based on experience, I will just give out like a metaphor, an example. For orange, let's just say orange. So orange is, if it's sour inside, when you squeeze it out, sour juice will come out. But if it's like sweet juice that is inside, so if you squeeze it out, sweet juice will come out. So yeah,
That's a
this
good
is
one.
that I but that's the thing also with healing, like we can't be perfect, we just need to be compassionate with ourselves because it
Mm,
won't, it's not like one time, big time, one night affair, you
Yeah.
know?
Even the most like experts or healers out there, like they're not perfect. They're still gonna, they're still be experiencing those uncomfortable emotions, those triggers, no? I don't think we can totally get rid of that, the triggers and the uncomfortable emotions, of course, since we're human. But we can learn how to take control of our emotions, take back our power instead of being at the mercy of, like immediately reacting. We can take a moment to pause, take a step back and apply what we've learned, right?
Yeah. So, my dear Angeli, do you have like tips that, we're also talking about productivity before, like when we were calling, and you mentioned that most of the people that actually following you also wanted to know how to be productive in a day. So,
Sure. So actually, we're talking about productivity now, and that's one of the things that I have a hard time, like handling. Until now, like we still procrastinate. We still get that urge to procrastinate, and sometimes we don't know what to do, and then we just get paralyzed. Oh, what? And then at the end of the day, oh, I haven't done anything, or we feel like we haven't done anything substantial, right? So, um, that's why it's also important. So all of these things, because we've been talking about boundaries, people pleasing, clarity, self-awareness, self-worth, but all of these things are really tied together or connected, because I realized that in order to have, to have a fulfilling day or a productive day, you need to be clear with that, with yourself. Like, what does a productive day look like for me? Right? So it's really like ties goes back to who you are. And that's
true.
one of the things that I did at the start. It was difficult, but I learned that what I usually do is, like, before I go to sleep, I try to get rid of like gadgets, all that, just to, relax my mind, because I observe that when I look at my phone too much before I go to sleep, I won't be able to go to sleep. It'll be hard for me to relax. So what I do, I just get out my journal and just write down everything that I want to do the next day. But I try to prioritize on what is really important to the goal that I am trying to achieve. And then after that, it really relieves the anxiety that I have. Because, when we have all these thoughts in our head, we don't know what to do first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we need to just put everything on paper, just put everything outside of us. And then the next day, like, it's also for me, I know that you also do this, Kat. Like, it's also important to, like, at the start of your day when you wake up, you actually don't immediately, you know, like, sit up in your bed, stand down, and do stuff. Like, you need to sit with yourself first, whether that can be meditation or prayer or doing some, journaling and stretches, anything that can relax your mind, and so that you'll be better prepared for the day. That's what I've observed as well. Because when I do like stuff immediately upon waking up, like go through my phone, like it really sets the whole day for me. Like I get tired easily, or I can't focus. So I find it so much helpful if I like set a morning routine for me, even though it's for a short while. Especially if, I'm sure that there are days that there are things that we need to do. That's not all the time that but we try, because like they say, we don't wait to feel motivated. We have to actually do it, and then we feel motivated. Right? And yeah, and I make sure as well to really put some breaks in between, like rest, because especially like now when I'm working, Like, what I noticed with myself is that I want to finish something. And so even though I'm already having a hard time, like in front of my laptop, I'm feeling really tired already. Like I have a hard time removing myself from that place. But what I found out is I really can think so much better if I just take a break or take a short nap. And that makes it more productive for me. Because, yeah, being busy and productive are two different things. Mm. You can be doing, like for me, like being busy, you can just be doing so many things, but then at the end of the day, you don't feel fulfilled. While being productive, um, maybe you've only done three things, but at the end of the day, you feel fulfilled because you know what you're working towards. Mm.
That's true.
So, yeah. And another thing that I also want to add because I noticed that a lot of people, me as well, like we already like tackled that feeling overwhelmed with our to-do list, right? So what we can do is what you said a while ago, like really set the intention to figure out which things do we really need to do that is aligned to who we are, to what we're moving towards. And so whenever there are things that it's not really something that we need to do like now, then we just set a boundary with ourselves and with another person. That's another thing. And that can be tied as well to our feeling of self-worth because before I always feel guilty whenever I'm taking a break, when I'm resting. Like I feel guilty, like, oh, I should be doing something. Like, yeah, like my anxiety is talking to me that, what are you doing? You need to work, 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 go towards your, like, earn more money, do something more productive. But then it can really go back as well to your sense of self-worth that's tied to just, work. And we need to change that. We need to understand that we are already worthy and deserving of good things without, even when you don't achieve anything like super big, even if you're just, like surviving or living through the day, you know, your worth is still there, is still intact.
That's freaking true. And that's also one of the limiting beliefs that we need to overcome or unlearn. Like, money is equivalent to productivity
Mm,
because working hard is not a good thing right now. It's not the same as our grandman, granddad's time, that you need to work hard, like physically, to get money. Right now, with the internet, with being creative, with being doing what you love, this kind of stuff is already so popular, so super popular. It's not about working hard to get money. It's about working smart right now.
mm,
You just need to really believe in yourself and be confident and do the things that aligns to who you are. So yeah, that's also one of the limiting beliefs. So yeah, and
yeah, I yeah, and like it's that I know you know this, like that inviting abundance into your life because when we live in a place of scarcity, like, oh, I need money, I need money, I need money, I need money to survive. But then what does money give you? For me, it gives me security, freedom, right? So we need to focus more on those things instead of just saying, oh, I need money. So
that's true.
focusing more on those things. Like, for example, even just simple things that you're grateful about, that you're feeling secure because you have a house, you have a bed, you can sleep on a bed. And so when you focus on those things, I guess like gratitude, practicing gratitude, like all these things will naturally flow to you on time. Like instead of just, you know, survival mode na I need money, survive.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So, Angeli, I really am so grateful to have you with me
thank
today.
you
Where
for
can
inviting me.
My pleasure, my dear. You're welcome, and it's my thank you too for for saying yes. But before that, I wanted the people who's watching this or who's going to watch the replay. Where can they find you? Um, since you're putting out a really good contents out there.
All right. So I only have one social media platform for now because for some reason my Facebook page disappeared. But you can find me on Instagram at Angeli Pakatang. I'm sure that I will be tagged on this video. So we can go ahead and check out content. So I really like putting educational content there. So I do my best to post like every week. And I also post almost every, no, on my stories, some of my experiences, yeah, everything. And I do have a podcast as well. You can also check that out in my Instagram page, the link. And I offer coaching. So if you're looking for someone to support you on that, you can message me. And I'm sure Kath also offers like, meditation, all that. So, but soon we'll be creating and collaborating on that. So stay tuned,
Yeah,
guys.
this is the most exciting part, my beautiful friends. Like me and Angeli are cooking something for us to move
Yes.
forward with the mission vision we have to help other people and to also feel fulfilled with what we are called to do here. So we are cooking something about some courses or collaborating with something. So just tune in. We just need to really brainstorm about it. And I know this could help a lot of people, especially here in the Philippines.
And yeah, you guys, we have more things to talk about and share with you. And, so it's really a in-depth, what do you call this, wide topic. So
Yeah.
there's more. Thank you for
Yeah,
tuning
that's true.
in.
You're welcome. Thank you for tuning in, like and subscribe.
Our vlog.
Yeah, so
Our
that's all. Yeah, my our beautiful friends who's watching this, thank you so much. I'm so grateful to have you here. I'm so grateful for you, Angeli, and I'll just catch you anytime soon then.
Bye, guys. Thank
Goodbye.
you.
Thank you. I'll see you soon.